probably will be back to more normal convention schedule, but today it was really the action outside that claimed the new coverage, where self-proclaimed anarchists disrupted an otherwise peaceful march. Protesters would not back down as police and riot gear moved in. Now, we discovered officers that had to spray tear gas to control one protester, and then at least 4 officers held down another protester. When he wouldn't stop fighting, once again, the spray came out while they were holding him down. We have team coverage on the protests. Tim Chernow saw much of this unfold. He's joining us live now near the state capitol, where it started. Tim?
Cindy, it didn't take long for unrest to unfold. What we covered was not part of the official march. Before that march could even start, a few groups, the Welcoming Committee and some of the anarchists, moved into downtown St. Paul, and what followed was a winding tour of the city that grew increasingly more violent. The rally began at 11 o'clock. Hooded and masked, this group of protesters promised a peaceful march.
The reason I am here is to protest peacefully, after recent protests and the cops have come in and been very aggressive, I want to prove to my community that peaceful protesters are not treated correctly.
But even before the official march could begin, a splinter group began a march of its own. Led by hooded, masked protesters dressed in black, as the march snaked through downtown St. Paul, we noticed masks being pulled up, and protesters grew more aggressive. Some of that aggression was directed at our camera.
As we're with the group as they're marching down the street, one of the people in the crowd used a can of spray paint, as you can see, to spray half of our lens.
The march continued to wind through downtown St. Paul. Windows were smashed, this one with a hammer. Anything on the streets or sidewalk became a target. Then a St. Paul police officer, alone in the crowd, dragged one marcher down the sidewalk when he was blindsided by a protester. The officer then discharged his pepper spray. The marchers brought supplies to treat themselves. And now watch, a protester runs in from the left, jumps on a squad car, and then runs into the crowd. After smashing a window at Macy's, protesters jumped over a nearby wall and seemingly disappeared. Well, as that group got closer to the X, police moved in, blocking off side streets. But as we said, before the confrontation could happen, they dispersed into the crowd. 100 people or so dressed in black. They were just gone. That was the early part of the unrest today. It still continues at this hour. Live in St. Paul, Tim Chernow, 5 Eyewitness News.
We would estimate that about 8,000 to 10,000 people were marching today in St. Paul. There were 56 arrests so far. The demonstrators ended their day right where they started, at the Capitol steps. Our team coverage continues with Colleen Mahoney live at that location. Colleen?
Cindy, police were in full riot gear wherever we looked today. They were on the ground. They were on top of buildings. Their goal, they say, was to keep the city and people safe.
Whose war?
Along with every protester came a police officer. They were on foot, on bike, on horseback.
In fact, the only violence we've seen is from the cops who have been brutalizing the protesters this week. I'm going to give you a little of this.
This man said he got hit with pepper spray taking pictures. 5 people handcuffed themselves to a car at 7th and Wall Street, blocking traffic. All were arrested, including the masked driver handcuffed to the wheel. Protesters also took over the 7th Street ramp off 94. Police did not arrest them or this man named Keith, who blocked 6th and Wabasha.
I'm just proving a point that this is my country. It's not a police state, or it shouldn't be. It's come to that.
Police only arresting people breaking windows and the law.
But if you come here to throw rocks, you come here to throw Molotov cocktails, you come here to cause harm to others, we'll stop you.
Who says I'm a communist?
Protesters also engaged with those who support the troops, but both sides were peaceful.
Not everybody thinks the way these people do out here. God bless them for coming out, but we just want to let them know that we think something different.
A lot of passions on both sides of this issue. St. Paul Police not saying how many officers they have there for security reasons, but we can tell you that officers are here from around the country to keep a lid on things. Reporting live from St. Paul, Colleen Mahoney, 5 Eyewitness News.